sense here.
The fusion grid rides in confusion. Its data are jumbled and subverted. Its torment is a beacon.
I am not surprised, given what I have witnessed elsewhere.
So jumping into the build here, I tend to prefer the dueling sword. You're really quick with the dueling sword, and I'll take thrust on it, and I'll take agile, and I'll take damage to carapace, and then crit chance for this. You have a few choices here. I'll almost 90% of the time I'll run the dueling sword, but you can also take the Blaze Force Greatsword. The nice thing about this weapon is that you can quell while you're holding it out. So while you're using Scryer's Gaze, you'll constantly be regenerating toughness and generating peril. So then you'll be constantly, like, your toughness will just refill constantly. And with the mobility perk for quelling peril, you'll be able to just like pull this sword out, quell, and then move around pretty quickly with it. So I think either is a good option. I tend to like the dueling sword for a little bit more speed here. So those are my picks for the melee weapons. Going into the guns, I like the bolt pistol a lot. I think it's super strong. I'll tend to take puncture and running gun. Running gun is strong because you can hip fire while you're sprinting. Only a few weapons have this blessing, and luckily the bolt pistol has it, so that's really nice. And I'll take puncture, damage to unyielding, and then critical strike chance with this. But I'll also tend to run the double barrel shotgun. So I'll take both barrels and running gun with this as well. Damage to unyielding, and then crit chance. And then the recon lasgun is a bit unique. If I take the recon lasgun, I'll take brain burst, and then I'll take kinetic flare in the talent tree. So I'll show you that in a minute. But this is what I'll tend to run with the lasgun. And I'll always take furnace, and then critical strike chance, and then critical strike damage. Pretty much mandatory for this. And then headhunter also rolls into critical hits. So you want to be creating critical hits, getting this in furnace, and then doing more damage with your critical hit damage. So that's how that gun works. And then going into the talents here, I'll take metal, so increased toughness and movement speed, good perk there. And I'll take warp expenditure and quietude, basically two perks that regenerate your toughness based on peril generated and quelled. So these are really good. These make you really tanky. I'll always take these two perks down the middle. I'll take battle meditation, just a chance to quell, a 10% chance to quell 10% peril on kill. Great perk to keep your Scryer's Gaze going down here. And then basically I'll take a sail with this build. If I'm using a lasgun, I'll take brain rupture and kinetic flare, because a 10% chance on hit to brain rupture target is really good, especially with the lasgun, because if we look at that, you'll see that it has 180 rounds. And it's just firing like constantly. So like a 10% chance on 180 rounds is really good. You get that brain burst a lot. It tends to proc a lot with this gun. So if I'm running the lasgun, I'll take that perk. But if I'm running the bolt pistol, I'll tend to take the sail here instead of brain rupture. So coming down here, we'll take mind and motion. A nice quality of life perk, so when you're quelling, especially the greatsword, you move quickly. A huge quality of life perk. This is a great perk to have. That's why I like taking a sail, because you have to either take smite or a sail to get mind and motion. You can't take brain rupture and still get mind and motion. Maybe they could change that at some point. I think that'd be a good little fix there to get mind and motion. But basically, yeah, I'll either take a smite or a sail, and this time I'm taking a sail. And then continuing down the right here, 10% melee attack speed. You really notice this on the greatsword. So with the greatsword, you'll feel this a lot. With the dueling sword, you don't feel it as much. So I feel like this is more of a need for the greatsword, but I like this perk anyway. And then crack a bone, so you're quelling 10% peril. and reducing peril generation by 25% on weak spot kill. Really great perk. It's another perk that keeps your peril down, which is really important because we're going to be running Scrier's Gaze down here. So with Seer's Presence, we're taking 10% cooldown reduction on ability, so 10% ability cooldown for your whole party. Great perk there. When with a Warp, you gain some more toughness damage reduction based on your current level of peril. You're going to be at high peril most of the time anyway, so you'll be getting this toughness damage reduction bonus. Really strong, makes you more tanky, and you're generating toughness with these 2 perks up here, so it just rolls into the build really well. This makes you more tanky. Empathetic Invasion, a critical hit makes it count as dodging against ranged attacks for 1 second. Nice little perk to have there. But going into Scrier's Gaze, so basically you quell 50% peril, you gain more damage, you gain more critical hit chance, and then you also gain, some more damage. So you gain 30% more damage as the effect goes on. And you can quell this with the Greatsword and just get those 30 stacks really quickly and just hold on to that for as long as possible. It's really strong. And then we'll also take Endurance, and then Precognition, and Warp Speed. So Warp Speed is probably one of the best ones, 20% more movement speed whenever you pop this, and you're generating it more quickly. So this all works together really well. You're really fast. And then weak spot kills count as 1 second spent Scrier's Gaze. That's nice, but also it lasts for 10 more seconds when you reach max peril and this ends. So then you still have this damage buff. Really nice, and a finesse buff too after the effect ends. So really strong pick here. And then here's some more toughness damage reduction with Endurance. So those are the 3 I tend to pick with Scrier's Gaze. I think those are probably the 3 best picks. I won't take this one because I almost never overload from Scrier's Gaze once you get like more experience. So almost never take that one. And then coming down here, I'll always take Warp Rider with just about any build, 20% flat damage increase as your peril increases. You're always going to be at pretty high peril with Scrier's Gaze. So I'll always take Warp Rider, and I'll take Kinetic Deflection, so you gain some more blocking, and then your blocking will cause you to gain peril instead of losing stamina. So super strong perk, especially with Demon Host, that comes in handy. And then Surety of Arms. So this is kind of a unique one, but 30% reload speed below 75% peril. And then on reload, you gain peril. This is one of the few perks that actually makes you gain peril, and you want to stay at high peril to do the most amount of damage possible with Warp Rider. So that's where that comes in handy. And then we'll take Disrupt Destiny. This is pretty much like wall hacks. An enemy is marked, you can see them through walls, you can see them like all around the map, and it's pretty unique, and it's really strong because you gain more of a movement speed bonus, you gain more damage, and then you also gain toughness when you kill them, and like a precision bonus, some more crit damage, weak spot damage, all that good stuff. And it stacks 15 times. It's really nice because it has wall hacks with more damage whenever you kill the enemy that's marked. So I like this a lot. And then I'll take Lingering Influence, so it stacks up to, this is increase in duration. So it'll take a 5, so the duration will go from 5 to 10 seconds. And then Cruel Fortune is weak spot kills gain 2 additional stacks to Disrupt Destiny. This is I've always liked this perk a lot. It point out enemies with the wall hacks, and it highlights them. And you can see them before anybody else and just kill them. And when you go on a streak, especially with a dueling sword, when you're moving really quickly and you're just stabbing the marked enemies, your movement speed is just through the roof. So you're just like flying around the map. So really good pick here. And then like again, Lingering Influence, Cruel Fortune, and I'll take Purloined Providence. So basically this gives you a guaranteed chance when you kill the marked enemy to quell 5% of your peril. So another great option to quell peril while you're in Scrier's Gaze. So this all works really well together. I think this all ties well together for the Gunner build. I've been trying a bunch of different builds, and I think that this works the best together. So we'll get into some more gameplay here.